This is my 2023 Mitsubishi Triton, and over the last 3 weeks, it's been crashed, cut, stripped, and reassembled. And by the end of today's video, we have the mammoth task of refitting the entire canopy setup and turning this into an absolute tourer, or it's gonna burn to the ground. It'll be one of the two. Alright, here's the plan. So we've just got the car back from TC Boxes with a brand new tray and canopy setup, which is sick. It also means that we now have to build this up from scratch. We have a completely blank canvas to work with, which is both exciting and daunting at the same time. So essentially what we need to do today is we need to make a headboard and mount it to the front of the car so we can hang all of our accessories like inverters, DC-DC chargers, a battery to mount on the floor. There's heaps of stuff to do. Once the headboard's done, we have a fridge that's gonna go here, a drawer that's gonna go here, and a pantry slide that's gonna go on this side. So essentially we're gonna be able to set this car up completely as a tourer, like it was the first time before the accident, and hopefully have something that's a little bit more better. All right, so if you're a lazy person like me, we've worked out the best way to get all of the drill holes for this headboard without having to measure stuff up. We're gonna chuck some bolts in the bottom here. So we have 4 bolts that are gonna hold each headboard panel in. All we need to do is chuck these in, line up the plywood, give it a smack, and then drill out the holes. It's way easier than trying to measure it. If you've seen episode 2 of Build Wars, you've seen that Tank used this to stick down some carpet. This is like synthetic turf stuff. I've used it before, it's okay. I'm not crazy about it. I'm a liquid nails kind of guy all the way. Leave me a comment, what do you use for putting marine carpet on ply? Because I'm gonna try this today and hopefully it works better. So, turns out, when you measure, you have to stick to your measurements and not just add more material and not measure. So, when I did the original measurements, I allowed 2 mil for carpet, forgetting that there's 2 panels, so it needs to be 4 mil for carpet. So we're gonna cut this edge off, and hopefully, just by missing this tiny little bit of carpet that you're not gonna see anyway, should give us enough. Should being the optimal word there. So we're just going to take this headboard part off and then we can start mounting our electricals. So we can mount the inverter, the DC-DC charger, the fuse panels, switch boxes, circuit breakers, everything. Everything that's going to be mounted to this will mount to this now, and then we can re-hang it, work out where the holes are going to be, start running some cables. All right, so before we get into all the really fun stuff of like wiring shit in and putting everything together, we're gonna mount the hardware. So we've got a pantry slide, a drawer, and a fridge. I just want to put them in the car so we can see how much space we have to work with, because we need to mount the battery over here. So before we get everything wired in and whatever, we want to make sure that we have enough space, and we need to work out where the terminals for the battery are going to be and where we need to run stuff. Okay, I'm going to Coles, I've picked up all the... So what we're going to do is I'm going to lay everything out, make sure we're happy with the way it looks, and then I'm going to call Dan from Aussie Arvos, because he is like my fairy godmother when it comes to anything auto electrical. Lay it out, I'll give him a call and we'll just see what... Right? Or is he going to say, you're going to burn your car to the ground? Oh, what's going on, dude? Look at this. Mate, it's really setting in, huh? Hey, listen, I got some electrical questions for you. So this is the headboard. Yep. Okay, so inverter, DC-DC. I've got a switch panel, like a fuse box for a switch panel. Yep. Circuit breaker for that switch panel, and then shunt for the battery monitor.
Yep. Yeah, there should be nothing on the other side of that shunt between it and the battery.
Copy. So just this cable.
Go straight to the battery, yeah, and then there should be nothing else before the shunt.
Rad. Okay, gotcha.
Footnote is, yeah, you're just basically moving the battery terminal.
That's it. Do you want to see? You want to see what we've done real quick? Headboard. This obviously that headboard is over there, but we've got the pantry, drawer, battery trays all mounted. I can look at this fitment, mate. But it doesn't get better than that. Yeah, I'll definitely tell Richard it's better than his. What do you mean? Yeah, similar vibe. It's a 1500 Canopy, 1650 tray. But no, it's looking pretty good. Like I think by tomorrow we'll have it all done. With any luck. Legend. All right, dude. Have a good rest of the day. I will catch you soon.
Yeah, sweet.
See you, bro. Catch ya. All right, let's start bolting stuff in, screwing stuff down, running some cable, and hopefully get the fridge cold enough for a beer because I'm desperate. Okay, after all the stuffing around, we're finally finished. So let me show you what we've done and have a look at the build because I'm very stoked. So on this side of the car, we have all of the electricals. So the battery's mounted, the inverter, the DC-DC, the fuse panels, everything's ready to go. So essentially we have a cable running from the main battery of the car to the DC-DC charger. This is going to handle all the charging of the battery. So taking the signal, taking the power from the front and chucking it into the battery. The inverter is connected to the battery as well through our shunt. So that is going to turn all of the 12 volt stuff into 240 volt power. So we went with a big boy inverter. This is what I had in my last car before it got crashed, obviously. It's a 3000 watt inverter. Lets us do induction cooking and all the fun glamping stuff. And then lastly, I guess we have a shunt. So the reason that we went with a shunt is it just allows you to do more in-depth monitoring of what the battery's doing. So you can just run a standard battery monitor if you wanted to, just to see what the voltage is of the battery. But having a shunt allows you to see how many amps are being drawn, how many amps are being put back into the battery, battery temperature, heaps of stuff. It just gives you a more advanced version of what a normal battery monitor is. And essentially all it is just moving the negative terminal of the battery to over here. So you can monitor everything that passes through it. This looks like a bit of a mess, not crazy about it. So there might be some tidying up in my future, but for the time being it works. And that's all that really matters right now. We have a solar connector here, which I still need to tidy up eventually. That will allow us to plug in a solar panel so we can also charge through solar. And that's pretty much it on this side of the car. This is our switch panel, so this allows us to turn our lights on and off. We have awning lights that I still need to connect, and then we still have 5 spaces free for whatever we want. We're probably going to put a speaker in here and hard mount it, which will be on one of these buttons. Then we have our inverter controller. So essentially what this does is just moves the inverter control over this side. So I have a little box here. This just allows us to plug in our 240 volt stuff. It's not very neat, so we're probably going to make up an enclosure that we can mount somewhere else in the car. I'm not sure yet. But you essentially just turn this on and off. So this will control the inverter. You'll see how much the inverter is drawing, temperature, all that sort of stuff. And essentially this becomes the control center of the entire Canopy build, which is pretty sick. So moving away from that, we have the bolt-in stuff, I guess. So we have a fridge here. This is a nice little 85 litre upright, which is sick. Plenty of storage, plenty of space, has a freezer, the best. And then we have in the middle is our drawer. So essentially this is gonna hold all of the camp cooking stuff, pots, pans, induction cooker, whatever. It has this nice little stainless steel top, which I thought was quite sick. So if the drawer's in, you can still open up the drawer. You can still use the shelf, make a coffee, whatever you wanna do, and then lock it in. This one also comes with a fridge slide, which is kind of useless because we have the big upright fridge, but it does mean that if you're putting really heavy stuff into the car, you can put it on here and then slide it in without having to sort of like lift it in and shimmy it and whatever. Moving on from that, we have a pantry slide. So this is probably my favorite part of the whole car, to be honest with you. Anyone who knows me knows that I like to cook and I like to do stuff. So having this stuff in here is sick. Plenty of space for noodles, plenty of space for anything else that we want to take while we're out. And it's nice and neat and clean and enclosed, which is sick. So after a weekend, some basic tools, some average knowledge, we've smashed this out. If you have any tips and tricks on how to do this differently, leave me a comment below. And also tell me what your favorite King Chrome tool to get this stuff done is, because I've used a ton throughout this fit out.